Hey everyone, welcome back to theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Again, that website address for you, if you don't already know by now, is theclinicaltrialsguru.com. It's, in my opinion, the best place on the internet for clinical trials content and information. It's definitely the most unique, and I'm not just saying that because it's my site, because I obviously am going to feel that way. But I really hope you guys find some value out of this, and one of the best aspects about it is that you guys ask me questions constantly. It's at dan@theclinicaltrialsguru.com, and when they're good questions and when they're questions I feel that other people can benefit from, I'll make a video on it. And today's is no different. It comes from someone who shall remain anonymous, but they're from a research clinic. And they are asking a specific question about Google Ads and how to use what's called Google Adwords, for those of you who are not familiar with it. It's basically those little ads you see on the right-hand side of the search results page when you Google anything. So for us in the clinical trial space, it could be a good way to recruit study participants for your clinical trials. In fact, we've seen Pfizer's virtual clinical trial use this. We've seen many different clinical trials. Just Google clinical trials and look on the side. You're going to see ads. So this question comes from the site in the Midwest. And they have a very specific study. It's an irritable bowel syndrome study, otherwise known as an IBS study. And let me pull up the exact question. But it's basically, this person stated that they put an ad out on Google Ads. I guess they're getting reimbursed for it from the sponsor. So they're not necessarily wasting their money. But they do have to pay for it up front, and then you invoice the sponsor, and they reimburse you. They're running an ad which is IRB approved, and they've had 63 clicks, so they've been charged 63 times. You're charged, for those of you not familiar with the process, when you run a Google ad called Adwords, you're charged each time someone clicks on it. You're not charged when they see it. You're charged when someone actually clicks on that link and are then referred to your page, whatever page you specified. So they got 63 clicks, but no one I know of has called from the ad. We need the conversions. I only had one ad approved. I have a lot of keywords. Any thoughts? Yes. My thoughts are that while you should have a phone number on there for people to call, your main conversion should be having them fill out some kind of questionnaire or just giving you their email address and telling you that they're interested in participating. It's a lot easier, it's a lot more passive for someone to do that than to actually call you. A lot of people don't want to necessarily talk to someone, especially if they're Googling and they happen to see an ad. They would probably, since they're already at a computer, be a lot more comfortable emailing you. So you should have an email where it says, please email if you're interested, or please fill out this short survey if you're interested. And I know those you're going to potentially run into some IRB issues, but the IRB should not have any problems approving it, and you may not even need an IRB approved one if all you're doing is getting their email address and them stating the fact that they're interested in this irritable bowel syndrome study. That does not sound like you need IRB approval for that if the ad is already IRB approved. But just to be safe, check with your IRB, check with your sponsor, get some kind of survey or get an email. I mean, it's a lot more convenient than expecting someone to call you. And you still want to have the number on there in case someone does want to call you. So that could be a way you could be converting more, is giving them the option to email you. Now, I'm no AdWords expert, okay, but I will bring people on who are, and they don't work in the clinical research industry at all. They actually work for Google. I have a few friends who are AdWords certified, and I'm going to try to get one of these guys on and explain how AdWords works. But you want to have as many keywords as possible, and you definitely, when it comes to recruiting for a research study, you want to target the geographic reach of your ad to only those people who can realistically travel to your clinic. So maybe 10, 15, 20 miles. You definitely don't want to be wasting money on getting clicks from people who live too far away to participate. And you want to have tons of keywords. And Google will actually suggest many keywords. You want to have at least 100, if not more, keywords just to get all the potential traffic that you can get. But definitely by far the most important thing is getting that email address of the person who's interested. Then you can establish some kind of dialogue with that person and say call to learn more after a few emails back and forth. That's generally what the person clicking on the ad wants to know is what is a clinical trial, what would it mean if I participate, and these kind of things you can answer over the phone. Although there's certainly some generic clinical trial stuff that you can answer via email. And make sure it's IRB approved, just to be on the safe side. So hopefully this helps. I want to give my clinical trial guru producers a shout out. It's Sarah Elizabeth Siegler, Resolve Research Solutions, Accurate Clinical Trials, Heart Clinical Trials, PTNR, Patrick Stone. We have Darshan Kulkarni, Zymewire, Biopharm Systems, Mozio, South Coast Clinical Trials, and Breakthrough Clinical Trials. Let me know if this helps. I really hope it does. Google AdWords and clinical trials. Thank you.